What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? So, based on the title, this would be apartment tips and tricks. So, everything is in random order. So, bear with me if I'm saying things randomly. I just want to get it out there, be as real as possible. Whoever said getting your first apartment was easy, lied to you. I know that you all have heard people say, well, when I was your age, I got my first apartment at 16. When I was your age, I was already working. Getting an apartment is not hard. If you got a job, they will approve you. So what's your point? You need to get your own apartment. Excuse me? Stop lying. First of all, don't be rude. Don't be negative. Don't be evil. Just because you got something doesn't mean that it will come easy for the next person. Because everything back in the day compared to now is not the same. Keep in mind that things change over time. People get even more greedy, things get even more pricey, or should I say pricier. Humble yourself, because being too prideful is a sin. Yeah, it's great to have your first apartment, first car, first whatever, but don't discourage the next person and look down upon the next person and say, what are you doing? It's not that hard. It is very hard. And we as human beings need to acknowledge that, which is why I'm being truthful with everything. Getting your first apartment or first whatever, that's overwhelming. I mean, it's stressful, especially if you are trying and doing every day and no one is helping you and no one's giving you the truth. Looking for apartments can be challenging, but the internet is your best friend. Think about it. You guys, girls, guys, people, human beings, we are all on social media every day, every second, every minute, every hour, putting all our energy in amazing hair, makeup, trying to get all these likes and whatever it is. Apply that same energy for apartment hunting, which means if you could spend 15, 20, 30, an hour on posts, looking at other people social medias, why can't you apply that on the internet? Go on the internet right now, start looking for apartments. Put that same energy in apartment hunting and job hunting. Yes, the shit won't, yes, the stuff won't be easy. I know. But if something that you really, really want and you're tired of being in a certain situation, you will work your you know what off until you get it. First, everything that I'm about to say is not in order. I'm just talking freely. So always look for apartments everywhere. Look online, type in 1 bedroom apartments or 2 bedroom apartments, type in your price range, and different things will pop up. Look on Craigslist, look on apartments.com, look on rent.com. Ask family members, friends, look for on social media. Look everywhere for apartments. Search high and low on the internet, because the internet is your best friend. Got it? I cannot stress this enough. Make sure it's something that you can afford. I'm going to say that again. Make sure it's something you can afford, whether it's alone or with a roommate. So always look at your prices, because when you get your first apartment, you will be spending lots of money on a lot of things, and not just the apartment. I'm talking about bills, food, different things of that nature. So in the end, make sure it's something that you can afford with a roommate or without a roommate. Be smart in your choices. something that you really, really love and you cannot afford it, get a roommate. Now, hear me out. I know some of y'all may say, ew, I don't want a roommate. Roommates are crazy. That's psychotic. And it's like, girl, be quiet. Because first of all, we all start off as strangers, period. We all start off as strangers. People are people. If you feel iffy about getting a stranger as your roommate, then maybe your first roommate should be your mom, dad, sister, brother, co-worker, or friend. But how I look at it, it doesn't matter if you go with a stranger, a random person, or someone that you know. Keep in mind that people are people. With a title or without a title, people will still do you dirty. It doesn't matter what type of roommate it is. Stranger roommate or mom, dad, sister, friend, co-worker as a roommate, people will do you dirty. So it's no difference. Either you get a roommate or you don't. So keep that in mind. People do you dirty. I know a lot of people may not know this, but I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. When you are applying for the apartment that you like, whether it's a paper application or online application, you have to make sure you make double the income or triple the income. And let's just be real, people who work, especially for minimum wage, it's like, are you serious? Who can afford double the rent or triple the rent? Who can afford that? People can't afford that, which is why people get roommates. If you are working, you make 15, 16 an hour, and another person is making 17, 18, and they're still not making it, you can combine your money with their, well, you can combine your income with their income. And then once y'all combine the incomes together and fill out that application, y'all both will get approved because you fit the requirements. So double the income, triple the income, keep that in mind. It's disappointing to know that that's a requirement, but say if you don't want to get a roommate, whether it's a stranger or mom, dad, sister, brother, whomever, and you have to make sure you make double the income or triple the income, make sure you get a job that pays you more than $15 or $16 an hour, which means you will have to find a job that pays you maybe $25 an hour if you do not want a roommate. If you do not make double the income or triple the income, or you don't make more than minimum wage, you guys can get a co-signer. And a co-signer could be someone that you trust, which is your mom, dad, sister, whomever. And what a co-signer does is basically the leasing agency will use their income to overshadow or overlook your income, especially if you do not make more than the total requirements. But when you get a co-signer, make sure it's somebody that you can trust and make sure that person has your back, because let's say you cannot pay the rent, the leasing agency will go after that person, and usually that co-signer will have to pay the rent. So make sure it's somebody that you trust with a co-signer. Or again, if you don't have anybody, if it's literally just you better find a different job that pays you more than minimum wage. I'm not being negative, I'm being truthful. I've been in the game for quite some time, so I'm just bringing some knowledge toward your way. I'm just, saying, always, always, always look at the apartment and also look at the location. You want to look at everything. You want to look at the demographics, age group, ethnicities. A lot of people settle in just pictures and GPS maps. Don't do that. I'd rather you guys go in person to look at the location, to look at the different ethnicities, to look at the different age groups. You want to see what is near the apartment of your choosing. You want to make sure, if you don't have a car, are there bus stops around? Are there train stations around? Is there a grocery store around? Is there a recycling can place? Is there a doctor's office around? Is there Starbucks? You want to look at the radius to see what's in walking distance, especially if you have children, whether they have elementary school, high school, college. You want to look at the location. So if you can, before you fill out that application, always look at the location and always take a tour of the apartment, because you want to see how the apartment looks on the inside as well as the outside, because a lot of people use a lot of filters and a lot of editing tools to get our attention. And when we settle for what we see online, usually when we get to an in person, it doesn't look that way, which is why I say always look at the location, always look inside of the apartment so you can see if the apartment is big enough for you, your bed, your family. Always look inside the apartment and always look at the location. Don't just settle on the map or pictures. Remember, you have to live here at the end of the day, so you want to make sure you're comfortable living in that area. Credit is really important. So if you do not have credit, you better start building your credit right now, because when you apply for a apartment, one of the requirements is you need to have credit. Not only do you need to work, but you need to have credit, which means your credit sometimes needs to be 600 points or higher. And not only do they run a credit score or do a hard pull on your credit, they also do a background check. So you want to make sure you do not have anything on your background. Make sure your background is clean as possible, which means, let's say you have a warrant out for your arrest, or you have prison, or you have prostitution, whatever that's on your background check will pop up. So if you guys think that by us being young and by us doing dumb stuff won't catch up to us, it will. Everything that we do in life is tracked. And the same goes with a background check. If you have done anything in your life, once they pull you up in a background check, it's like you're flagged, which means you will not get approved. You won't get approved. I'm not being negative, I'm being truthful. So make sure you have credit and make sure your background check is clear and clean as a baby's bottom. Because honey, if your credit is not there, and especially your background check is messed up, you're gone. They won't even look your way. Just saying. I'm not sure if I said this, but I'm gonna say it. If I didn't say it, make sure it's something you can afford, whether it's month to month, yearly, or 2-year. And the difference between month to month versus 2-year or a year lease is that month to month, you could actually get the apartment today and be gone next month. Versus a yearly lease, you cannot break your contract, or you cannot break your contract for that 2-year lease. If you cannot afford the rent, they don't care. You better find a way to pay for it. And you cannot break the lease, because you break it, 9 out of 10, they will sue you, or you will actually get that written down on your record. And sometimes if you do break your contract from signing that yearly lease, you will mess up your credit, which is also great to find apartments that's month to month. You always want to find an apartment that's month to month, just in case, because things happen. You know what I mean? Some people get roommates, some people don't. And let's say if you are stuck with the apartment alone, you could have leadway on leaving the next month or choosing to stay based on the price that's listed there. So always be smart when it comes to choosing apartments. Make sure it's something that you can afford alone or with somebody else. You have to make sure you got you at the end of the day, because people are grimy, people are dirty, and leasing agencies do not care. If you can't afford the rent, they don't care. It's on to the next. This is also important. When you guys are looking for apartments, do not put all your eggs in one basket, which means if you see a great deal on an apartment, other people see the great deal as well. Don't just rely on that apartment, because leasing agencies, they know how many people are ahead of you and they won't tell you. So the thing about that is, regardless of what goes down, you will have to pay the application fee and your credit will obviously be deducted. So if there are people ahead of you and the first 2 people got pre-approved and these people know that, they don't give a crap about you. Once you run your stuff, and somebody else got approved and they know this, they won't tell you. So you have to ask how many people are ahead of you just to get a visual, because there are 15 people ahead of you. 9 out of 10 times you won't get approved, and they go down the list of people, and they pretty much just go down the list of people to see who's going to be the first one to give the security deposit. If the first person does not give the security deposit, which is a holding fee for the apartment, they go to the next one, and they keep going down the list to see who will give them the holding fee. Once the person give them the holding fee, everybody else who ran a credit and had to pay for the application, you guys lost in the end. So always ask how many people are ahead of you. If they don't want to tell you how many people are ahead of you, move on. Move on, because you don't want to waste your time with that, because 9 out of 10 you won't get them. Here's a bonus tip for all of you that are watching. When you first apply for your apartment, do not live on the premises with the manager. I know some people may say, oh, living on the premises with a manager is amazing. No, it's not. You're setting yourself up for failure, and it's drama all the time. Managers are so grimy. At the end of the day, they don't care, because they're getting free rent and they're living comfortable. You're not. If you choose to bring friends and family members over your house, they will watch you like a hawk. They will do anything in their power to get you kicked out. They will always start with you every day. So do not live on the apartment complex with your manager. I promise you, if you do, you're gonna regret it. It's not, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Do not do it to yourself. I don't care if you love the apartment. Don't do it to yourself. I'm pretty sure some of y'all won't even listen to me. So sometimes people need to figure things out on their own. If you want to do that, you can, but I suggest you don't. But you live and you learn. So that's the end of this video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If y'all have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know, and I'll be happy enough to answer the question. On that note, thank you so much for watching. Happy apartment hunting, and I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.